All right, hey guys, it's Dom, and I'm here with the guy who made all this happen, my man James, the Flying Bird. Say
Hello.
hi,
I
say
hope
hey
you
to
ha
the people.
I hope you have more than 15 subs now, so you're forced to upload.
16, man, it's 16.
Oh, great. Gonna pressure you even more now. Someone leaves tomorrow, and it's just like, nah, you've still got 15 subs.
All right, so I wasn't here for this draft, so I gave Rob, my buddy Rob, a bunch of mons I wanted, and I think it turned out pretty well. So my first pick was supposed to be Manaphy, but it got sniped. So
But you were
it ended.
12th. But you were 12th in the draft, though.
No, but I asked everybody what their first pick was so I could build around a mon,
Yeah.
and some sad face.
Because I know
But
Techno got sniped. That was the whole thing.
like, imagine Garchomp plus Venusaur plus Manaphy. The reason why that would have been really good was because Manaphy's two weaknesses are electric and grass, and they both resist both of them, which would have been a really nice pairing. But alas. So my first pick ended up being Mega Venusaur, and one of the reasons really I wanted to use Mega Venusaur was like we're going to Alola soon, and I was feeling really tropical, so I just got some butt flower action. So what do you think of Mega Venusaur in the first pick?
I think the nickname just says it all, the Melanosaurus. I really think that A12 really puts it down, and it's definitely a mon that his opinion I've sort of looked past. But upon seeing other people use it and seeing how many people use it successfully, it's such an incredible wall to break down. And as you alluded to the fact earlier, when you pair it with something like a Garchomp, Garchomp's main weakness is ice. Mega Venusaur has thick fat. It's not resisted. I think it takes 15%. I want to say 15 to
It's
17%.
actually neutral.
Is it? Because
It says super effective, but like it cuts it in half.
oh yes.
So it's technically neutral.
It's technically neutral, yeah. And so you've only got the psychic and flying, which are effective against it. But when you have something like T-Tar, it's really effective. And when you even look at Mega Venusaur, the defenses are both 120. Both attacks over 100, and a base 80 HP and a base 80 speed stat. It's nothing to really laugh about. And the fact that I always find versatility is more beneficial in League. Yes, there's some very good slot moves, mons like Manaphy, for example, where they run anywhere between 4 and 5 moves. But something like Mega Venusaur has so many options. You can run Swords Dance. Someone once got me with Power Whip. That was such a pain. And you can run it offensively and defensively. And I know that personally for you're a very bulky offense player. As much as you probably don't want to admit
I like balance. Yeah, that's probably my thing.
And I think something like Mega Venusaur really suits you.
Yeah, like another thing too, that base 80 speed on a wall, like that outspeeds all the other walls in every other team. Like that's pretty huge. Like you don't have to invest anything.
Yeah.
And it already naturally outspeeds all the other walls in the other teams.
And even if you like come up against Trick Room, like it's still a speed set where it's like, oh, I can't send anything in because I've got a base 100 speed set mon, and he's got a base 80. If I Trick Room here, oh, how much speed is he running? How slow is he running?
Yep. So my next pick is Garchomp.
A.k.a. the Chain Chomp.
The Chain Chomp, Yump. It eats everything. And his stats across the board are like really soft. It's like a Tyranitar, but like higher stats, but not, Sandstream. If it had Sandstream, it would be the most broken thing ever.
Oh, not really. I think Rough Skin's more beneficial for Garchomp because of the fact that it doesn't get that special defense boost because it's a ground type, not a rock type.
That is true. But like its speed stat at 1 and 2 is really good. Like outspeeding the base 100s and everything, like really gives it. But it has really good bulk stats as well with 108 HP, 95 and 85 defenses respectively. Like you can even like its base 80 special attack stat is actually usable. Like for things like Ferrothorn, you want to run a Fire Blast, which is really nice. And its stab, EQ, and Dragon are probably the most two spammable stabs in the game. Like offensively, this thing is really good, and even like occasionally, because in League defensively, it's not really that good. But I definitely see in standard play, you're probably going to see it more like the rough skin Rocky Helmet thing. But in League, it's not like that 4 times weakness really kills it. But because it has so many options, like it could hit fairies with Iron Tail or Poison Jab. It has a lot of it has a lot of offensive options and a lot of coverage that you really enjoy in League format. And it also has access to Stealth Rocks, which doesn't hurt at all.
Definitely, I think Garchomp's personal niche is when you get a player who plays a lot of laddering, it gives them that fixed mindset of, okay, this is a rocks jump. Nah. You know, I think I think guard jump's best set in the game is either scarfed or it's or
Sub SD.
Sub SD Salic Berry. They're two very good sets.
Yeah.
But in saying that, also having rough skin plus Rocky Helmet, something that's still not to laugh about.
Oh yeah.
It's
Also in there.
Taking 1/16 every turn. You know, taking I think an eighth, or I think it's an eighth plus a sixth, which is roughly. Where's A12 in?
12% plus 17%, which is almost 30%.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's 14/48 or 7/24, so I'm pretty sure. So like even in 3 turns, they've already lost. If you do 3/8 to them of damage.
Yep.
3/24 damage to them, you've already got like a kill, and that's something really underrated. Also, the access to Dragon Tail and Raw, 2 very good moves. I tried to use it against the Suicune and Dragon Tail, didn't work out that well.
Yeah, you missed the Dragon Tail, I guess.
Nah, I got hacked to death, and I had to play my Scarf Guard Shop, risking a outrage.
Yeah. Alright. So yeah, I really like this Garchomp pairing with the Mega Venusaur. It really like, you know, it's really nice. I like it a lot. Garchomp's fun. Alright, so let's go to my third OU pick.
Yep.
This thing is power. This thing is named it's Syndergaard after Noah Syndergaard of the New York Mets. Baseball player. Australians don't understand, like my friend here.
Yeah, we just see people hitting a ball and running to a random base and then going yay, and we're just like, what? When do you tackle the person? I haven't seen a tackle yet. Australians we don't understand soccer either.
Alright, you could argue that this Pokemon is actually better than Thundurus Incarnate in League. Yes, it doesn't have the Prankster T-Wave, which is really good. Don't get me wrong. But it has base 145 special attack. Like, just think about it. Base 145 special attack. Things die. And it does outspeed the base 100s with that base 101 speed. So it does have a lot of power with it. So like with the synergy so far with my 3 OU picks, I'm like, electric types don't do anything. I have 2 Pokemon immune, 1 resisted. I have like, you know, a lot, like, it might not be perfectly synergetic wise, but I think there's some pretty good synergy here. You know, with these 3 Pokemon. What do you think?
Besides the ice weakness, I think there's not too much. I think the other thing you didn't mention, having 2 Mons that you could quite easily scarf, being above base 100 speed with they're referred to as niche stats in VGC, like Mons that, for example, hit not 100 speed, they hit 101 speed, hit base 81 speed, hit base 91 speed, things like that, and they're referred to as niche speeds. It's like Mega Camerupt is one of the best megas in Double OU because it has the niche stat of having a base 20 speed stat, which is really amazing. I also think you, as A12 always says, it's not about how many offensive mods you have, it's about how many resistances you have as well. Because and you can already see here, you already stopped Volt spam, and you've already got your own Volt spammer in Syndergaard, or you can run it U-turn, depends like that.
This thing gets U-turn and Volt switch.
I'd probably argue that the only downside to not having Thundurus Incarnate is the ability to use Defiant and run it physically more. But in saying that, like, Syndergaard's still a very good pick. It's just I think the one thing that OU you're missing is a defogger, but apart from that, like, there's nothing really too weak to. Like, Spikes only hit Chain Chomp and Melanosaurus for 25% most. Rocks hit Syndergaard for 25% most. T-Spikes aren't really that much of an issue, and things like that.
Yeah, I have a Toxic Spikes Absorber right there. In the Mega Venusaur.
Okay. Hello. Yeah.
Alright, yeah. Alright, so let's go into UU. So this is the thing that replaced Manaphy. So it's my friend. It's Gator. I met him when I was with Chimpac's front office. He used to show up a lot. So I was gonna actually draft Infernape and name it Chimpac, but so next best thing.
Next minute, kicks down a front office. Instead, must forced to work for it Skater instead.
So Sheer Force is a really good ability. Plus Dragon Dance equals death.
Definitely one of the things Feraligatr is laughed at is, as I said before, it has that another niche speed stat of having base 78, which I think to outspeed base 70s only needs about 180 investment. I think like Jolly outspeeds it. Agility, for me, it's just a water Haxorus, to be honest. It doesn't have that same strength as a Haxorus, but it's saying that like you've got Home Claws, Agility, Swords Dance, Power Up Punch, Outrage, Ice Punch.
You have a lot of setup opportunities with this thing.
Superpower. You can even run Sub.
You can run Special.
Yeah, you can. It's a base 79 speed special sex, but like when you combine that with Torrent, maybe we'll see a Torrent Salic
And
Berry.
Sheer Force. It's called Sheer Force.
Yeah, okay.
Like, is it like the Nidos have low special attack stats, but like the Sheer Force gives it like it may not have the best coverage, but if you pair it with the Life Orb and Sheer Force, that just spells death.
And also I think the pairing with Chain Chomp and Cinder Guard is a really nice pairing. It just puts the emphasis back on the fact of, look, you got now you got one more weak to electric and grass. How do you cover it? I've got Chain Chomp, Cinder Guard, and then I've got Melonosaurus for that grass weakness. And
all three of them resist or are immune to electric and grass.
Yeah. And also you have the advantage of saying, alright, Melonosaurus doesn't really appreciate psychic types, you can run Crunch on its Gator. Chain Jump doesn't really appreciate ice moves, how do I get rid of that? Superpower. Cinder Guard doesn't appreciate rock, I can just waterfall stuff.
Yep. Yeah, so we're seeing some synergy here.
Yes. Yep. It was definitely. Do you want to explain why you got it U1 though? Because I think a lot of people would be wondering about that.
Okay. Definitely, this thing could probably have been my UU3, but this thing I felt was really integral to my team because there really wasn't any other offensive water that I wanted to use. Because man, if you got sniped, and I might as well get it now because I felt really like confident because UU is probably arguably the deepest tier into which you can get really good Pokemon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot. Like, it feels like you can get a lot more Pokemon that you want in UU. Like, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think also in the NBA, when you give an opportunity to draft mons like Raikou, Rotom Wash, and things like that, Ninetales, for example, like it really deepens the tier even more.
Yep.
And with OU has a lot of standout mons in league format. So like OU, you have like, for example, like Mega. 9 times out of 10 you'll pick a Mega, for example, like Mega Venusaur. And then in saying that, a lot of the time there are some really good UU picks that people will often waste a UU3 spot trying to get a UU mon. So I know personally I didn't want to risk having to get Landorus Incarnate and Mega Heracross, so I actually drafted them as my OU 2 and 3, just so people couldn't snipe me. And people were like, oh, that wasn't a really smart plan. I was like, it paid off for me, I got the sand combination. And I think that a lot of people are recognizing in League that UU mons were a lot better. It's just my personal opinion, but like for example, the OU replacements for a water type would have been something like a Azumarill, which was already gone by the time you got there. Keldeo, but as you said, you wanted that physical attacker. Manaphy was already gone. Rotom Wash doesn't really fit your team. Volcanion, not really. It's sort of like more of a it's been released type thing. You already had a Mega Gyarados. Stealth Rock. Gyarados doesn't really fit the team nicely, and I think like Feraligatr was actually, you're right, it's actually a really integral part. It's just a bit of an obscene pick, but as you said, the integrity of to the team was important.
Yep. All right. Now I'm very surprised this lasted this long because I was 12, and I got the first pick in UU. So like I think what was it? That 26. There's 22 Pokemon went in between, and nobody took Conkeldurr. I'm like, what? This thing has an attack stat of 140 with priority. Like, damn. And with all that elemental coverage with the elemental punches, like, damn. Pile Driver is just gonna pile some people into the ground.
Oh no, you couldn't have made a worse pun.
So, like adding Pile Driver to the team, what do you think? Like, what do you think it adds?
It really adds a really nice ice coverage. So for Chain Chomp and Cinder Guard in particular, it definitely means that later on your pick's going to have to try to support that psychic weakness you're building up. Also, it adds a Trick Room element to the team if you so desperately wanted to. Conkelda is a mon that I feel is very underrated. It can actually take a Talonflame Brave Bird from a Choice Band variant, Adamant. If you want to know what the set is, it's 252 HP, 252 defense. Impish nature.
Or you can just run the Flying Berry.
Yeah, but sometimes you just want to just laugh at people. We do it in VGC a lot. We just because the most common set's 120 Life Orbs. A lot of people will make a bulky conk for that. And sorry, I keep referring to VGC just because that's the way I know sets. But I think the one thing you missed out, you've also got a Status Absorber now. So you got a Toxic Absorber, and Melanosaurus. Oh, I butchered that one. You have a T-Wave Absorber and Chain Chomp and Cinderguard. You have a Paralysis Absorber and Cinderguard, which is always handy when they have the T-Wave Colt in the MBA. And then you've now got something that's a burn thing. So like you don't want its Gator or Chain Chomp getting burnt. Melanosaurus doesn't really appreciate a burn, but like when you're running Leech and stuff like that, it doesn't really mind it. And I think the other thing too you missed out on was its massive HP stat. 105 base HP stat is something that isn't definitely not laughable at. And just complements that team even further.
Definitely. And now going to my last DU pick. This is probably like one of the last DUs, so there wasn't that much left, but I got Pillow Pet which is another thick fat which catches up my ice weakness a little bit better. And it's also Pursuit Trapper, which helps with the Psychic types too. And it gets a lot, and since it's a normal type, it gets a lot of nice coverage. Like, you know, like all the normal like moves you really want, like Body Slam, Retaliate.
Wait. You said all the normal type moves. You only need Body Slam. You just paralyze everyone every turn.
True. You could also run Facade. You wanna be cheeky. You get the Elemental Punches again. Like there's a lot of coverage and there's a lot of like, you know, synergy with the team. I like, you know, it's another Status Absorber with Rest. Like, so really, like, statusing my team isn't looking like it's the best idea.
Yeah. Also, it's another Toxic Absorber. You can run Immunity.
Yeah, that too. It actually gets Immunity? Really?
Yeah, it gets Immunity, Thick Fat, and Gluttony. Because some people
I didn't even know it got Immunity. That's cool.
Because some people run Belly Drums, so like...
No, you could also run Belly Drum with Gluttony and have it, like, at 50%. And have a Cuss Step area activate.
Yeah, you could. That'd be funny to see.
Mm-hmm.
You might say that. Also, I think the other really nice thing is, with Conkelda in particular being weak to sort of Psychic, you then have a massive special defense tank. Like, you've got a defensive tank in Pole Driver and Chain Chomp, and now you have a specially defensive tank in Snorlax. And we all know Psychic types are special attack stat, because that's the whole reason they're programmed in the game, besides the fact Mewtwo was broken in Gen 1. You also have like you can run like Ord Sleuth, for example, just so you can hit ghost types.
Or I could just Pursuit them.
Yeah, you could, but you know sometimes it's more fun to hit a Mega Sableye with the.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Can't argue with that. I don't think Mega Sableye was drafted though, was it?
I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think.
I think like even just Curse, Work Up, Yawn, Selfish.
I could Whirlpool trap somebody.
That'd be funny. Amnesia. Curse,
Amnesia.
Belly Drum.
Belch.
Belch. Yeah, like the Bulldoze. Counter.
Counter's fun. Dynamic Punch.
Yeah, like there's so many just like fun movesets you could run with it.
There's a lot. This thing gets a lot of coverage. Like it's a normal type. It gets a lot of coverage.
Yeah.
And it's really bulky. And I really like my Pillow Pet.
And when you look at the you know, its Gator, Pile Driver, and Pillow Pet combination, like there's nothing that's really that weak to it. Like it's not like it's, you know, they're all mono type, so there's no 4x weaknesses. Like you so far,
except for Chain Chomp.
Yeah, but in you don't have any. Like I'm just looking at you picks together, and it's a really nice combination. I feel like because you then also have like mons that really don't mind Trick Room, and then you've also got a mon that really enjoys speed, and you know, in particular when you pair that with the faster OU picks, you've got some then slow UU picks, and then people are always into two mindsets. What are you going to bring? You're going to run fast, you're going to run slow.
Yeah, and Gator can set up and become really fast too.
Yeah.
And has priority with Aqua Jet. And I added some priority to the team too with Pile Driver and Gator, which I think is really important, which will help a lot.
I definitely think that's important. So you could Just ensure that you're getting KOs and things like that.
Definitely. All right. So should we go to RU?
Yeah, we may as well.
All right. So my first RU pick, this might be a surprise, but I really like Magneton in this format. Like, it's really, like, specialized, and it gets rid of all the annoying steel types you really don't like. And, like, even though, like, I have another electric type, I think adding the steel typing and all the things that it can do, like, there's some fun things you could do. Like, I once trapped a Ditto with Magnet Pull and ran EV, so his hidden power would be HP Dark, and my hidden power would be HP Ground, that was pretty cool. Like, I really like Magneton in the format, and I might trade it away, I might drop it, but like, I thought it was a really like nice Pokemon to pick up. It's a Pokemon that a lot of people would want to, because it has a lot of eye openers. It can run Eviolite, it could be a nice choice Scarfer. Like, it does a lot of like different things, and you basically get an OU Pokemon in Magnezone, but you get it in RU in Magneton.
And you get a much
stats are pretty much the same.
You get a much bulkier version as well.
Yeah, with Eviolite.
Yeah, and also I think that like a base 70 speed is still nothing to laugh at.
And 120 special attack is nothing to laugh at either.
Yeah, and then combine that with analytic or sturdy. Like, you can run sturdy if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
It's just, and we talk about sometimes sturdy can be an absolute lifesaver. Like, you could be on the verge of getting swept, and then, three-way pulls out, magic HP ice, so it stops the salamence, and then, gets it down to like 1%, and if you can't, then you can go out to like your Aqua Jet or Mach Punch and just finish it off.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, I think is very crucial in any game.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so I don't think there's really that much more to say about Magneton. So let's go to my boy Boom.
Someone's excited to use this, I don't know why.
Oh my god, this thing is... you don't understand how much fun this thing is to use. Like, just go, on the moves. There's one move you only need to know. Who cares about everything else? There's this move called Boom Burst.
I think I'm gonna say it's Circle Throw.
Oh, Circle Throw. Okay. Yeah, so Specs Boom Burst destroys lives. This thing's a big wall breaker with the Specs, yeah. And it can hit ghost types, that scrappy ability. It's immune to sound moves, so like you could switch into a Sylveon for free and just click Boom Burst. Boom. 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 Boom.
Boom. I've got a question. When you were drafting Exploud, did you think that you wanted to have a physical normal type attacker and a special normal type attacker? Or did you simply just draft Boom for the fact that it's Boom Burst?
Well, I think this is the last season before we do Gen 7, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to have more fun in this draft, and I love using Emboar, and I used Emboar many times, but I've never used Xcloud, and they're very similar except physical and special, but this is just another wall breaker I really wanted to use and try, so I decided to get Xcloud.
Yeah.
Which is really nice.
I can completely understand that. Like, I was just wondering, because you drafted Snorlax, so I was just wondering, you were talking about how good normal spam is.
Oh yeah, normal spam is really good.
Were you thinking, okay, if we want to draft normal spam, let's get 2 normal spam uses?
Definitely. And they only have one weakness in fighting, which I have a Mega Venusaur and a Thundurus and a Garchomp with Rusty and Rocky Helmet. So.
And a Conkeldurr and
a puppy.
Yeah, which is your next pick.
Speaking of puppy, what a segue.
Yeah.
We got my puppy. It's a fairy, because why not? It's pink. Click Play Rough. Intimidate. Intimidate's a really good ability. Having Intimidate is just really nice. Has the elemental punches. It could heal Bell. This thing, even though it might be expensive as an RU pick, you'd probably rather have it as an NU pick. But I really like this thing.
Isn't it? It's RU. It's not NU.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying you would rather have it as an NU. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a low tier fairy kind of thing. But it's still a really good pick in RU, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Stab Fairy is really good. That's all I gotta say.
I gotta say, also, you didn't have a Draco resist, but now you have Grand Ball.
Well, I do have Magneton.
Yeah, but you don't want to be you're still taking damage from it. And considering 99% of dragons run a ground move.
True.
I just think that when you look at each section in isolation, you look at this and it's like, okay, I've got an Exploud and Magneton, they're both weak to ground. Not ground, fighting. Oh, what do I get? I get a Puppy. It's like, Puppy's weak to poison. Oh, Throwaway's got that. You know, Puppy can't beat Fire Touch. Well, Exploud isn't a direct counter, but it's absolutely amazing in breaking walls. And as you said, I think Exploud we didn't talk about. I think it's got a unique speed stat in like 68, which is just below the 70 threshold. But still, though, it has speeds both 60s. And as you said, most walls are slower than a 70 speed stat.
Yep. Like Puppy is 45. But that 120 attack stat is nothing to laugh at either. It has some bite to that Puppy, huh?
Yeah.
Puppy's got some bite.
Puppy's definitely, and like, can we see a Rattled set 1 week? I just want to see Rattled do some work. And also you got Quick Feed as well.
Yeah.
So you know, another status absorber.
Oh, yeah. And you can't paralyze or toxic my Magneton either.
Yeah, like that's another really nice thing. And you know, 1 weakness is better than having 20 weaknesses.
Yep.
And you?
Alright, so let's go to my boy, the fart noise, the Skuntank. Like, so one of the things with Mega Venusaur is that psychic types are a problem. So what do I get? I get a dark type. And it only has 1 weakness, and it could also defog. This is actually my only defogger I ended up drafting, which, like, there's only 1 Pokemon in my draft weak to rocks, so I'm not really that concerned about rocks. So I think this is, I think this is enough. I had a really good season with it last season. I had a lot of fun playing with this Pokemon. It's really funny to look at too.
I like how it's like a toupee. It reminds me of Donald Trump. It has like a toupee on top of its head.
Yep. And it's also another source of priority. And Aftermath can really come in clutch and prevent like you from getting swept and stuff like that. And also, so it's really nice to have.
Also, Kenai is really good if you play Cooper.
Definitely. Yeah, I'll run Kenai against Cooper.
Yeah. I think also
right, so.
it has a really nice special attack and attack stat, and that unique speed stat as well, being 84.
Yeah, and it can Fire Blast.
Nice.
It has a really nice HP stat in 103 also.
Yeah, it's quite a bulky one as well.
Yeah, Dark Stab is really good, so you always want Dark Stab. Alright, so let's go to my boy, the Dawn. That's James' nickname for me, so because James is a boss.
Yeah.
And I love. So I did this like partially because I love the name and partially because James is a really good friend of mine.
Yeah.
So we got base 130 attack. There's a lot of power on this draft too, which I really enjoy. And also Staraptor got dropped to you this draft.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need to counter that shit. And my only stealth record to this point was Garchomp, so I wanted to get the pressure off of him, getting another stealth rocker.
Yeah. I think the other good thing about Rhydon is your Mega Pick. It goes so well together. The Dawn and Melanosaurus, like, what a combination. Just both nicknames, and they're perfect pairing, like, couldn't pair it better. You can have Dom the Dawn, or you can have the Melanosaurus, like, it's just perfect pairing. Like, it's only got 2 weaknesses, 2 quad weaknesses being water and grass, and I think most people don't know, if they don't know, Mega Venusaur resists water and grass.
Oh, yeah. You water a plant, it just gets bigger.
If you water Melanosaurus, it's just not a fun time for anyone.
Yeah. Shoutouts to Techno for that nickname. That's a great nickname, man. I love you. Alright. Now, this last pick, I was so happy. I don't even know. Like, this is the last pick. I completely forgot about this. I forgot this thing existed. I got my boy, Jamaicamon, the Mesprit. This thing is really, really good. Like, it gets Healing Wish. It gets, like, all the coverage in the world. It gets Stealth Rocks, which gets a pressure away from Garchomp, which I could just focus it on being offensive. Or maybe 1 week I need to run Stealth Rocks on it, whatever. But I'm really, like, this thing should have been probably NU1, like, overall. Like, cause this thing is that good in my opinion. Like 105 stats across the board with 80 speed and 80 HP. Like, it's like a mini Mew, which it's not as good as Mew. Obviously, it doesn't defog or anything, but it does a lot of things that Mew can do, and plus Healing Wish, which I love Healing Wish.
Yeah, it's definitely goes really nicely with Fart Noise. One second, bro. Someone, random guy's ringing me. Oh no. Apparently not. Wrong number. Some guy was ringing me from Belgium.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, but as you said, like it's a really nice mod. I think Mesprit is a forgotten one. I know a lot of people like using Yuxi. A lot of people like using Azelf, but no one drafts Mesprit. It's a shame because it's actually a really good mod.
Oh my god. But it's actually the cheapest out of all of them, and then you.
And also,
And it's not that much of a difference, in my opinion.
Yeah, and also, like we're talking about earlier, how you're weak to Psychic, and then you dropped a really bulky Psychic for the end of it.
And a dark type.
Yeah, like, and that too, like, you then really patched up the weaknesses, and I can't see any real glaring weaknesses. You lose a bit to fighting, but you still have like Puppy, Jamaican Mon, Mega Venusaur, and Conkeldurr. Like, there's no glaring weaknesses in the eye.
Yeah, that's 1/3 of my team right there.
Yeah, but at the same time, you do lack a little bit in terms of setting up hazards, but you know, how much will that matter? I don't think a lot when you have a lot of mods. I think every mod you've drafted so far in their respective stat, or a respective primary offensive stat, is over 100.
Yeah, definitely.
So like you don't need to really worry about hazards too much, like hazard stacking your opponent.
There's a lot of power. Actually, Fart Noise's attack is 93.
Yeah.
So that's it.
And also the other thing is, Jamaican Mon can set up trick rooms for you.
Oh yeah. So if you had to pick one Pokemon out of my draft that really stood out, and you're like, you know what, that Pokemon fits that team really well. So what would you think that Pokemon would be out of all of them?
You know what? I'm actually going to agree with you, and the reason you drafted it so highly, I actually have to say it's Gator. I reckon Feraligatr will be such a crucial mon in your team. I
Definitely.
think, you know, like you don't have a Fire Water Grass core, but you have it's referred to as a Fighting Ghost Dark Core, which is a core that used to be very popular before Fairy, because it used to not lose to Fairy.
Yep.
And you know, like you've got a very good core in Fart Noise, which is the Dark type, Jamaican Mon being the Fairy type, and then Conkeldurr being your Fighting type. And you know, like that's a very solid core. And then when you have something like, I think, as I said earlier, like 9 times out of 10, the counters to whatever your mon's going to be that week is going to be countered by one thing, being being your Feraligatr. So I think that's the best mon in your team.
Yeah, I totally agree. But like, imagine if I had Manaphy, man.
Yeah, but look, we can't all have nice things.
No, you can't all have nice things. But but because of like the circumstances, I couldn't be there for the draft and everything. I'm very happy with how the draft came out.
All right.
And I'm hoping to have a good time. So thank you, James, for coming on. Go check out the Flying Bird. Peace out, guys.